Okay, so basically, if this is true, if this condition is true, then do this. If it's not true, then check this. If this is true. If this is true, do this. If it's not true, then check this. If this is true. If this is true, do this. If it's not, then you'll run what's in the else blocks. Run what's in the else block, right? So if this is true, if message, whatever's in this box, this variable, is equal to this, raining, then we're going to assign this string literal, take an umbrella, it's raining, we're going to assign that to this box, this message, we're going to reassign that to message. So, or the variable we're calling message, right? So what gets assigned to this variable depends on what condition is true, right? What's selected, what the user selects. Right, so one of these are going to be assigned. One of these conditions is going to be true. So one of these string literals is going to be assigned to this variable message, right? And after we've assigned it, one of them's going. We don't know which one's going to assign. Our program is making a decision, right, based on the conditions, right? Whether this message is equal to cold or whatever, and depending on what's selected will depend on what gets assigned to that variable message. And once we have something assigned to this variable message, we then in turn assign that to this property text, which is the property of that label, right? Right, so this slide is how we're assigning that text, or that string, whatever it happens to be. We don't know what it's going to be. It depends on what the user does. But whatever it happens to be, this is how we assign it to the text property of that label. So we see it displayed in that label. And this is something I just threw in for free. This is the message box.show. And you can put a string in here. You can put a string literal. You can put a variable that holds a string. Whatever it is, you can put a number, then convert it to a string with a toString method. And it's only going to print out a string, but you'll see the message box pop up. So let's go ahead and run this and click on the button. Okay, so we have our form, and now we have our combo box, and now we can select which one, whether it's sunny, rainy. I'm going to select sunny, click the button, and see what happens. So we get this message box, right? That's what that dialog, this message box.show does, right? It throws up that dialog box and says take the dog to the park, right? So it's giving us whatever's in this variable called message, right? And see, it does the same thing to the label, the text property on the label. It assigns it that little string, right? So let's select another one, raining, check weather. All right, take an umbrella, it's raining. So this the message box again, it's throwing up this dialog box, and it's got whatever's in this variable message. That's what it's going to show there. And same thing with the label. It's assigned that message variable, whatever's in that box, whatever's in that variable, gets assigned to the text property on the label, which is what's displayed, right? So let's look at cold. Click on the button, and better grab a coat. It's a bit nippy out there, right? So there you go. There's the introduction to if statements. If statements are a way for your program to make a decision. If A is true, do this. If it's not, if B is true, then do something else. If C is true, then do this, right? So if statements are a way for your program to make decisions and check conditions. So here we're implementing these conditional tests, right? That's what we do with conditional tests. We check to see if a conditional test is true or if a conditional test is false. So there you go. It's an introduction to if statements. That concludes this video, and I'll see you in the next one.